guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to do another stamp collecting video. This one is featuring a stamp from Finland, or Suomi, which is what the Finns prefer to call Finland. This stamp was issued between 1942 and 1951, and it can be found in 7 different color shades of grays and browns. The value is 50 MK or 50 Finnish markas. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my reaction when I first had a look at this stamp. First thing I noticed was, oh my gosh, there's a guy literally standing on the railing of this bridge. He's gonna jump. And then I realized, never mind, he's facing the other direction. So he's not gonna jump off the bridge, but it's still pretty weird that there's a guy standing on a railing. Then I finally noticed all these other little figures below and realized that they were people and they're much smaller than this human figure standing on the edge of the bridge. And I realized this must be a statue. And it is. This is the Hämeensilta Bridge in Tampere, Finland. By the way, please excuse my pronunciation on all of the Finnish words and names in this entire upcoming video. Tampere is the industrial capital of Finland, and its cityscape with all of the industries and chimneys is iconic. Through the middle of the city flows the Tammarakoski Rapids, which connect 2 lakes that have an elevation difference of about 60 feet or 18 meters, which a lot of early industries and mills took advantage of as a source to generate power for their industries. The bridge itself was built in 1929, although there was a wooden structure here before that connected the 2 shorelines before they built the concrete bridge. There are 4 statues of people along the railing of the bridge. Each of them is around 15 feet tall. One of the statues is the Finnish maiden, which is a personification or representation of Finland, usually depicted as a blonde-haired girl in a white flowing dress, and she's often holding a flag. Some say the Finnish maiden is also the shape of Finland as a country on a map, which at first I thought that was a little bit of a stretch, but now every time I see a map of Finland, I can't get the picture of the maiden out of my mind, so maybe it's true. The other 3 statues are of the early medieval residents of this region, which were called in Swedish burkarls, or in Finnish perkala. The statues are the merchant or fur trader, the hunter, and the tax collector. At first I thought a tax collector is kind of a weird profession to highlight as one of the main jobs of the early peoples who lived here, but the burkarls really were known for gathering all of their wealth and success in this area by taxing the indigenous Sami people, as well as controlling all of the trade and commerce that went through this entire area. It really was a hot spot for trading because the city of Tampere is located in the middle of a lot of lakes and streams, so it was very easily accessible back in the earlier days when people were traveling around by boats. The statues were paid for and donated by the Tampere businessman Rafael Harla, who eventually ended up owning several factories in the city, and at the time the bridge was built, he himself was celebrating the 20th anniversary of his own paper mill in the city. He also had a house built in Tampere, which is literally meters away from the bridge. He probably crossed over it many times when he was going to work checking on his factories. Side note, paper production was and actually still is a really important part of the industry of Finland. It's one of their top exports. When I was doing research for this topic, I came across a few other stamps as well that highlight the importance of paper industry in Finland. The statues themselves were sculpted by the famous Finnish artist Väinö Aaltonen, who also made many other famous and recognizable statues that are also commemorated on some different postage stamps. A version of his Finnish maiden was also shown outside the Finland Pavilion of the 1939 New York World's Fair. The chimneys seen throughout the skyline of Tampere stem from a lot of different types of industries, including paper mills, fabric or cotton mills, textiles, leatherworks, brickworks, breweries, bakeries, and a lot of those factories are no longer active. But what's great about the modern day city of Tampere is that they've refurbished all of these old factory buildings into courtyards, cafes, condos, places that you can just generally hang out and embrace the industrial history behind this town. 2 chimneys seen on this stamp were part of the Frankel Papermakers Factory, which housed Finland's first ever continuous paper making machine in 1842. Now, one of them stands next to into a reading room, which is part of the city library, and the other is in a courtyard with a little cafe where you can actually have a meal on the patio right below this chimney, and it looks like they might even cook food out of it still. Now, when I was walking around Tampere on Google Maps looking for where these chimneys were stemming from, I found that some of them aren't even connected to any buildings anymore. It's just kind of the chimney sitting there by itself. It's kind of cool that the city decided to just leave them there just to be a part of the city's heritage and a part of the city's iconic landscape. One last interesting fact about Tampere is that they currently have a commitment to go green and become a carbon neutral city by the year 2030, and they're actually on track to meet that goal. So it's pretty neat that usually a city known for industry and has this many smokestacks and chimneys is now the complete opposite and like headed towards being carbon neutral, which a lot of cities that weren't even so industrial based can't even claim. One final thing that I wanted to say about this stamp that I found exciting was that it was actually designed by a woman. Her name was Signe Hammersten Jansen, or called Ham, and she actually designed 220 stamps for Finland between the years of 1929 and 1962. She was mostly known for her lion definitives produced between 1930 and 1952. Before this time period, Finland was actually a Grand Duchy of Russia. So even though they had autonomous government, they were technically owned by Russia. But after the Russian Revolution in 1917, they were able to become independent and be their own country. The set of stamps that they issued after that independence had their coat of arms with the heraldic lion, but a lot of people felt that it was too similar in size and shape to the previous stamps that they had under Russian rule, which had the Russian double eagle on it instead of the lion. So they decided to do kind of like a revamp of the stamp, change the size and look of it a little bit, and Ham was the one who designed the next set of definitives. She also designed the third set of lion definitives that were issued between 1954 and 1959. Looking at the stamps that I have from Finland in my collection, these are all of the ones that I were able to track down that were designed by Ham. So if you have any old stamps from Finland between 1929 and 1962, maybe you have some that were designed by her. Okay, that's it for today's video. I hope you had fun learning a little bit more about the city of Tampere and Finland. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this channel. Until next time, stay curious. Bye!